Well, here we are, 10:12, a little late. Sorry about that. Here on the East Coast, September 16th, 2023, the AEW Collision review show here on the Fightful YouTube channel. Rick Ucchino, Iridian Fierro, Cresta, the star. What is going on, guys? What a rock solid episode of AEW Collision, I thought, tonight, highlighted by the main event. Listen, y'all, as we often do on this show, we will complain about the booking of the women in professional wrestling, okay? Got to give credit where it's due. This was a good week. Capped off tonight by Kris Statlander and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, the fifth women's main event that we got across WWE and AEW alone this week. The only show that did not main event. Now, granted, I know SmackDown, it was really John Cena that closed the show. But the last match of the night, the actual main event, the build main event, was Bayley and Asuka. So counting that, Dynamite this week was really the only show that did not close with a women's match. So look, I'm happy. A guy could get used to this as an advocate for women's wrestling. I could get used to this, and I could get used to more matches like this tonight between Kris Statlander and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. We're going to get into the main event first tonight and give the spotlight on the ladies because they deserve it, in my opinion. But Iridian, how you doing tonight? What'd you think of the show overall?
I am doing so well, Rick. Thank you so much for asking. I thought this was a great collision. Really, really good matches. We had good promos. We had a really good build-up to the pay-per-view. Like, there's just really good stuff that was happening. But, man, the women really stole the show for me tonight, and I cannot wait to talk about them. Oh my God. Literally the last 2 minutes, I was on the floor crawling. Like, I didn't know what to do. I couldn't handle myself. Cresta, how did you think Collision went tonight?
Collision overall was great. Starting off hot. Danielson losing to Starks. Oh my God. Also, I have to go ahead and say Nigel McGuinness tonight on commentary really was just saying anything, and I was livid. I was livid. Tonight was such a good episode. The women ending the show before we went on live, I said Pittsburgh was not happy about that decision. But that match was phenomenal. That pin combination, come on, ladies. Come on, ladies.
Look, beating Britt Baker in Pennsylvania at her alma mater, Penn State tonight, like, it was shocking to me. I felt like a lot of people, especially after Kris got the win that she did on Rampage this week, were like, oh, now she's facing Britt in Pennsylvania. Oh, they're not about, like, I feel like a lot of people had Britt as the heavy favorite tonight. And I got sucked into it, and I don't know why, because all night Nigel has been sitting here saying this was a night for massive upsets, right? Like, beating Britt Baker in Pennsylvania is a massive upset. I don't care how big of a heater Kris Statlander is on, but has anybody had a better week outside of maybe Pat McAfee? Has anybody had a better week than Kris Statlander, who beats Jade Cargill clean as a sheet to main event one show and then comes back and beats Britt Baker in the main event of the next night? Now, granted, it was actually 3 days in between because that match between Jade Cargill happened in Cincinnati, which I'm pissed I missed that show now. But I can't help it where my wedding anniversary falls, so I wasn't going to be able to go to that show. But regardless, we'll talk about Dr. Britt Baker and Kris Statlander. We'll talk about Jade Cargill as well, because just last week, ladies, we were ecstatic about her being back and what this could mean and whether or not she's, going to win the TBS championship back. How long are they going to wait to have this blow-off match with Statlander? And boy, how things change in a week. But we want to get your guys' comments on it as well. Get your super chats in, get your humper chats in. Again, we'll start with the ladies. You can send them in overall as well. Big Bizarro L hopping in early. He said, who flipped the switch this week for cohesive story building? You can see it up in the card. The women's division is getting some attention, but still needs more. And commentary was on point. I live by two things: pocket sand, and it's my purse, and I don't know you. That's a Bobby Hill reference. Thank you very much. I died laughing for that on commentary tonight. Anytime we can get some King of the Hill references in there, oh man, that just makes 13-year-old me very, very happy. So thank you, Big Bizarro L, for sending in the humper chat. Get your super chats in, get your humper chats in. Our moderator, Drew, good buddy of the show, is going to be picking through them all. Make sure that I'm on point tonight, just like commentary was, and actually reads all of these super chats and humper chats before the show ends tonight. So get them in, and we will dive into all of them. If you want to talk about Britt or Kris or the fact that Jade Cargill reported that is no longer in AEW, and not only that, she is on her way to WWE, or at least many believe that she is. And now, who broke that report? Oh, yeah, again, that was Sean Rossap. Fightful Select, just $5. It's the best $5 you're going to spend in a month. Like, seriously, think about all the things you spend $5 on in a week's time. Like, you can't even get a Big Mac value meal for $5 anymore. All right, like, you're getting all the best wrestling news, all the biggest scoops right to your email before anybody else gets them. And not only that, you're not getting them secondhand. So, like, these aggregators that constantly get Sean's reports like wrong, or just completely, or even if it's like they alter one little thing or put some kind of spin on it, you're not getting that. You're getting actually what Sean says verbatim right to your email. So Fightful Select, make sure that you hop on that. Before we get into the main event, let's talk about Jade Cargill, Iridian, because last Wednesday, like when they made that announcement, because I'm watching the TV, I'm watching it from home, a little bit in and out. Like I said, it's my wedding anniversary, but I made sure to, like, that caught my attention when they said that Kris Statlander and Jade Cargill were going to be having a TBS championship rematch on Rampage. Now, that's a pay-per-view match. Okay, that's a pay-per-view feud. And I'm going, it's not even a week, and you're putting that on Rampage. What on God's green earth is going on here? And then I happen to just wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning because, you know, I have kids. But I see my email, and I see Jade Cargill done with AEW, likely going to WWE. And I'm like, oh, that explains a lot. Obviously kind of shocking. And at the time, and I still think it's like, I don't know how we got to this point, Iridian, but here we are. Your thoughts on Jade being done and possibly being on her way over to WWE?
What an eventful week it's been for us. You know, like you said, last week we were super excited to see Jade back. We're like, oh my goodness, this is just going to add so much to the women's division. And we were super excited. We're already fantasy booking what matches she was going to have.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we hear, oh, she's actually on her way to WWE. Not even like done with AEW. She's done with AEW and on her way to WWE. Like, what? That was literally so hard for me to process. And once I did, I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of excited. There's a lot of Jade, there, you know, qualities that she has. And I'm like, you know what? That makes sense. I could see Jade in WWE and just all the matches that she could have, one being with Bianca Belair. That's a WrestleMania match right there.
I'm sorry. No disrespect to Bianca and Charlotte. Give me Bianca and Jade Cargill at WrestleMania 40.
Yes.
Silly right now.
That would be such a moneymaker. And I'm just already thinking of like, okay, all these things that she could do, all these promotions that she could be doing, like sponsorship wise. Like, she is just money. And I think that though I am sad to see her go from AEW, you know, that's like another person that's hopping on to, you know, going to WWE. Cody did it first. Now we're going to see Jade. Who else? Now I'm thinking people could start jumping ship, you know, not that it's a bad thing, because I feel like this is all good competition, but I am very, very excited for the possibilities of Jade in WWE. Yeah, I'm just super ready for it. Sad that she's not going to be in AEW anymore, but you know, there's a lot of things for her in WWE.
Yeah, Cresta, I look at Jade Cargill, and much like Cody, and I just see big stadium performer. Like, she's an asset. She is an attraction. There's not a lot of people, forget men or women, people who are built like Jade Cargill is. You put her behind the WWE production train and just go. Just hit start. Go.
Honestly, yes. No, you're absolutely right in that. My only sadness is, like, I really would have liked to see Jade Cargill as AEW Women's Championship. I
Sure,
think there's more story there. But I do agree with you guys in the sense that she is so grandiose that I think WWE behind her, and I kind of feel the same way about Ricky Starks. It would put you on the next plateau level, way above. And I'm not saying you can't achieve that in AEW, but it's like WWE has the deep pockets of production value. If it's true, I'm happy for her. Go get your money, sis. Don't let the money get you. But if the other report I heard is true, that she's going to NXT, now, Mr. Federation, now you're playing in my face. Don't do that. Don't do that. I would not be mad to see her versus Lash Legend, Jakara Jackson, or even Tiffany Stratton. Wouldn't be mad at or Blair Davenport. However, Jade Cargill in NXT, stop.
So I could understand it. I could, because I mean, part of what went wrong, I think, if we want to say anything with Jade's run as the TBS champion, is a lot of it just became more of the same. It was enhancement match. There wasn't, after she beat Athena at All Out back in 2022, I mean, there wasn't a lot of growth. There wasn't a lot, for her to sink her teeth into. And I've said this on other outlets. Me as a observer, somebody who's watching from the outside in, there were sometimes where she just looked bored, like doing the same stuff in the ring every week. My personal opinion, that's what I saw. I just looked in her eyes and I'm like, she wants to do something else. Like, she wants to go the extra mile and do something else. So like when they bring in somebody like Taya Valkyrie, like, that was great. And, I was looking forward to a lengthy feud with Kris Statlander. And hey, first off, if Jade really is gone, I give her a ton of credit for coming back and putting over Kris Statlander the way that she could have easily just left that asterisk on Kris Statlander's name. And she said, nope, I'm going to come back. I'm going to go out on my back, do the professional thing, and let Kris actually beat me, and not be my only loss in AEW to be that I just beat somebody. Oh, now I'm going to get my ass kicked because I'm prideful, right? Like, no, she went and she legit got beat. So I give her a ton of credit for that, Iridian.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think, like you said, she didn't have to do that. So big props to her, because women supporting women, I am here for that. Absolutely. And man, I'm just thinking the trickle effect that this is going to have now on the women's division, not having Jade there anymore. But going back to the banger of a match that the women put on tonight, if people doubted Kris Statlander before, you cannot doubt her anymore after tonight's performance, because this just demonstrated that what type of performer Kris Statlander is. She is quick. She is so strong. We always talk about her being a powerhouse. I feel like she does not get the credit that she deserves, because she is just so fantastic. And this match against Britt Baker tonight really, really showed it. And oh my God, I hope that we get to see more matches like this with Kris Statlander.
Yeah, Cresta, I said at the top of the show, I don't think you could ask for a better week than Kris Statlander, who started off gangbusters with this TBS title run. She had 5 matches in 8 days after she caps off, coming back from the ACL injury. And then they parked her on the bench and she really didn't have a whole lot to do. And I'm like, really, what are we doing here? And then she gets in this nice little feud with Ruby, only lasted a couple of weeks. And boy, dang, from Ruby to Jade to Britt, she has been on a heater, and now all of a sudden this TBS title run is cooking.
I mean, at this point, the only person for her to left to beat on the AEW Mount Rushmore of women is Thunder Rosa or Serena Deeb. You know what I mean? These are the upper echelon of women, and not saying that nobody else is up there with her. I think Taya Valkyrie is somebody I would like to see her in a match with, Kiera Hogan as well. But at that point, those are the only 2 women left before you're like, all right, girls, it's me now. This match was fantastic. I also had the privilege of watching Impact, and I know I come on here every week and talk about Impact, but Impact this week for the women as well was amazing. So this week for women's wrestling in general, past and present, Kris Statlander is definitely at the top of the list for people who super won. But if you have worked in Impact Wrestling and seeing the beautiful people come back, Awesome Kong in the same ring with Gail Kim, This week was fantastic. Next week, do it again. Do it again. I want to see it in repeat.
Let's build on this. Let's not let this just be a 1 week out of 52 weeks of the year kind of a thing. Let's like keep the momentum rolling. I was not saying we need 5 main events every week, but you know, just a little extra, like Big Bizarro said at the top of the show. Like tonight was a great step. Let's get a little more, right? Let's just get a little bit more attention here. And like I said, I'm going back to Jade Cargill here because we got a super chat here from Michael Compton. He said he was in Cincy. It was a great match. We could tell something was up by how she played to the crowd post-match. Love seeing Kris go on this great run this week. I did want to finish my point because I never really made the point. With Jade Cargill, I could see where maybe they want to get her a little bit more seasoning and get her kind of up to speed with, you know, some of the other ladies in WWE because she has been doing just so many enhancement matches for months now and kind of get her run up there. But I think honestly, you could do that with like house show matches and dark matches and just introduce Jade Cargill on the main roster and do a lot of smoke and mirrors and just present her as a massive star, kind of like what AEW did with her in the get-go. And then just build up to it. But yeah, like I said, give me Jade and give me Bianca at WrestleMania 40. Please put that in my veins.
I'll take it one step further, Rick. Let's do a triple threat with Rhea Ripley. Oh my God.
I mean, look. For weeks leading up to, for months, me and SP3 over in the Believe in Pro Wrestling podcast channel, we have talked about how there was just they have booked themselves into a corner with Rhea Ripley because there's nobody on the roster that physically stands up to Rhea Ripley.
My girl Naya's back.
And within 3 weeks here now, all right, we get a healthy Raquel Rodriguez who shows back up. We get Nia Jax who shows up on Raw, and Jade Cargill's coming. Yeah, I would not be mad at that, but I still believe the match for Rhea Ripley is going to be Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 40. I believe that's what they're going to do.
That Rumble is going to be insane, okay? The Royal Rumble with all these women in it.
Imagine Jade's music hits during Royal Rumble.
Imagine she wins the damn thing.
Sorry, I didn't mean to scream.
Imagine she wins the damn thing and challenges Bianca Belair for the WWE Women's Championship. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing out outlandish ideas here.
Zicky Dice outlandish.
Jennifer Kathleen with a super chat saying, normally can't watch Collision live, but I am so glad, all caps, I could this week just to experience that main event live. I was dying. Hell yeah, she says. Let's talk about this main event. Super strong response for Dr. Britt. Obviously, she's at her alma mater, Penn State. They did show highlights of Stat's win over Jade Cargill on Rampage, including the hug at the end of the match. Glad they did that. Early on, though, thought this was really interesting. So they do the spot where Kris kind of tweaks her knee, and Britt is just laying in wait. And she has a chance to, do a chop block, do something, go after the knee. She decides to hold off on that. And I believe what she ended up doing was like a bulldog or a spinning neck breaker or something like that instead. And then she goes after the knee later. So I feel like Britt as a babyface, early on in the match, didn't want to go for the low-hanging fruit, but then realized, oh, this chick's for real. I need to pull out all the stops. And then she's literally just chucking both surgically repaired knees off the turnbuckle at one point in this match. But the closing segment was it for this one, Iridian, with Britt going deep into the playbook. She pulls out Angel's Wing. She hits another stomp. Statlander kicks out again. I think the entire arena was sold that was it. And then I knew they were sold when Britt goes up to the top rope. Statlander gets her up on her shoulders. Beautiful count by Britt Baker here, where she gets her into a standing lockjaw, takes her down to the ground, and everybody's just waiting for that one little hand that's flapping to start, flicking. That everybody's waiting for that. The roll up by Kris Statlander was so great because not only did she roll her up for the win, which we've seen a million times, right? But she was able to actually use her size and her strength to make that pin look so realistic, because she literally did trap Britt down to the ground, and somehow this awkward position that she was in just utilized her long legs. I bought it. I bought into it. Like, I loved that finish so damn much. And then the crowd was just so pissed already, and it was great. I loved this so much tonight.
Oh my God. I will admit, I was also bamboozled tonight by this main event.
Bamboozled, she said.
I was bamboozled. Okay. They played me. They got me. I bet you people were laughing because I was gasping for air. I could not believe that Britt Baker lost.
Pittsburgh.
I know. I really thought that, Kris Statlander, I was like, all right, I guess she had a good run. Like, I guess, maybe, at this point, I was like, I guess, sure. You can't advertise that match in Britt's hometown of her school. There's no way.
I was gonna say it's her school. I don't know if Penn State's actually in Pittsburgh. No, it's far away from Pittsburgh, but
her school.
It's not in the middle of nowhere. It's in the middle of
nowhere. Yikes. Yike-a-rooney. That's what I said. But man, it's just what a match of beauty. And these women really showed up and showed out tonight. I was super, super excited about this match. I've been waiting for it all day. And man, it really didn't disappoint. And I'm super glad that they really got to showcase themselves in this way. Man, Britt Baker is just so fantastic. And Kris Statlander looked absolutely dominant. She was killing it the first couple minutes of this match. I was like, okay, Britt, come on. You got to hit her now. You got to do something. I don't know. Don't just lie there waiting. And man, that
got more aggressive. Yeah,
yes,
for sure.
She really got more aggressive. So she was really picking it up, and it really it played into the story well of like, man, this isn't like any other person Britt Baker has faced. So Kris Statlander is just such a powerhouse. It was so beautiful to watch. Cresta, were you there with me on the floor, or were you composed?
Did you just call Kris Statlander not like most girls?
Oh. You put that in there? You mentioned Nia earlier.
No, this match, I feel like, and I hate to say this, and I don't care if y'all call me a Mark. My middle name is Cresta, Mark and Star. I feel like Britt Baker at the end worked herself into a shoot a little bit. You got a little too smart for your britches. I was thoroughly impressed with that octopus stretch. Oh, that was so good. And then into the lockjaw, I was like, girl, she's going to throw you to the floor. And as soon as I said that, she threw you to the floor. It wasn't just a roll-up. It was a bridge roll-up. So you can't even say my shoulders were on the ground, too. And I think even after Britt lost, Britt, the look on her face was like, this girl just bamboozled up. It was good.
I got. There's nothing she could say. She got.
Nothing she could say. I thought this match was superb. And to echo Rick's point, Britt should have been a jerk from jump, because Kris Statlander literally is not like most girls. If Jade is a powerhouse, so is Kris in her own right. I saw someone in the chat say Kris Statlander versus Jamie Hayter is going to get the meat chance, and that's exactly who she was against tonight, a meat mountain of a woman. And I'm happy for it, but at the same time, Britt, you too smart. Sometimes you just got to be a jerk. I thought she was going for the Panama Sunrise when that first Canadian destroyer got countered. So I'm like, why you keep trying to do this, girl? Just not for another hit on the knee. Like, be a jerk. Like,
This is one of those situations where, like, oh, I'm the baby face. I shouldn't chop block another baby face. Like, screw that. This is a title match. Like, I'm willing to throw that crap out the window, which is why I'm like, it wasn't smart for Britt to stand there for 3 seconds and wait for Kris to turn around and then hit a neck breaker instead of going after the injured knee, especially when that's the story you're telling about, because she still wrestled as the heel. Like, she was still delivering the heat to Kris Statlander in this match. I mean, she's bouncing her knee. I don't know. That one spot just stuck out to me. I just thought it was weird. Like, maybe they thought that would be too heelish to do. And I don't know. I
don't agree. Look at like Dax Harwood. Dax Harwood, no matter what FTR does, people still cheer them. And Dax Harwood don't care if your arm is broken. He's Christian. He's essentially Christian. He'll take you out like Christian, but the crowd will still cheer. It's a championship match. You got to win. I thought it was a fantastic match, but I agree with you there with the dumb baby face syndrome.
It strikes. It'll strike at any time. Luckily, Britt's a doctor and she was able to get herself situated. By the way, I want to say something, because I feel like Britt Baker gets a lot of, especially early on, like the spring and the summer and things like that. She was getting a lot of flack, like on social media. She's just one of these people that people just love to shit on. Ever since she like made that announcement that she was kind of stepping more away from dentistry and focusing more on AEW, has anybody else noticed that she has just been on point? Like in these last few months, like has noticed like not, I'm not saying that she's like improved with her skill, but she has been sharper. Like just see the focus in her and see the drive in her. Like I feel just like she's been so much crisper when she hasn't been trying to do it all. And is it something that I'm only noticing, or has anybody else picked up on that as well?
I haven't picked up on it, but I've always been a fan of Britt. So I feel like even if she was not doing the best, I would have been like, yes, Britt Baker. Wonderful. 10 out of 10. So, I'm a ride or die girl for Britt.
Yeah, we all got those people we look at life through rose-colored glasses. I get it. I totally get it.
I see what you mean though, Rick. Now that you're saying that, I feel like she's wrestling like she has something to prove. And there's nothing wrong with that. I enjoy Britt Baker. I've heard the criticism, but I also feel like it kind of comes when you're towards the top of the card. Could it be valid? Yes. Could it also be jealousy? How you hating from outside the club and you can't get in?
Exactly.
Look, I'm just saying at some point, being a full-time dentist and being a full-time professional wrestler, you're going to get tired, right? It's going to catch up to you, right? Like, hell, I've been running on E for 3 years and I'm not like,
you're just watching it.
So,
and then after that, you got to put your hands in someone's mouth. I want to go to sleep.
Like, I'm just saying, like, I'm not trying to say she shouldn't go back to doing full-time dentistry if that's what she wants to do and keep putting up with it. I'm just saying I've noticed that she just seems like she's performing motivated just to remind people, like, kind of like, I may not be the champion, but like, this is my damn division. Like, I feel like that's what I've been seeing out of Britt Baker for the last few months, at least ever since she made that public. So again, I love what I saw out of both ladies tonight. Kris Statlander looks like an absolute monster.
Yes.
Give me her and Athena now, please.
Julia was out there watching the whole thing, and in my mind, I was like, oh my God, not Julia. I love Julia. Julia and a Kris Statlander feud would also be fantastic, because now you're also could involve best friends and the House of Black. Like, there's just so many layers to this.
Yeah. Julia would be, I don't know. I feel like Statlander would look at Julia like, you a snack. Like, they're like, this is nothing for me.
I mean, yeah, but the last couple of
from
times,
a stature standpoint, you know what I'm saying?
But Julia's been listen. I used to feel that
in the work.
She puts that way. I used to feel that way about Penelope Ford, but I feel like if you put Julia in the corner, she's not hanging out with the House of Black for shits and giggles. You know, she out here doing a Black Mass, some Brody King stuff in the back that we don't know about.
That's true. Could do a lot of smoke and mirrors with that as well. Another Humper chat from Bizarro Big L. Great match in the main event tonight. Stat beating Britt makes sense when you think of OC, Orange Cassidy being her trainer. That was his seatbelt pin. The only thing more cursed last week, he says, was Rick cursing both of our teams with his blasphemy. You got to give Danhausen $20 to uncurse your team from the loss in Cleveland. Look, death taxes and the Cincinnati Bengals playing like crap in week 1. All right, that's just how it works. That's Zach Taylor's system. It's worked out pretty well for them the last couple of years. So hopefully they just, win the final game this year.
I have a sports reference for you, Rick.
Yes.
I got one. I feel like this is also the curse of some teams, as a former Knicks fan, they could play great all season, and then game 4, last 10 minutes, they close their eyes and just start doing this. So it happens sometimes. It happens to the best of
us. Man, I just wish Joe Burrow could enter a season 100% healthy. That would be great. Just one time.
I don't know who that is. You lost me. I'm sorry.
That would be the MVP of the NFL this year. That's who that is. All right. Anyway, let's go back to the top of the show here. We'll dive into the rest of AEW Collision. Again, make sure to get your super chats in, your Humper chats in, and our good buddy Drew moderating the chat will put them up there and crack the whip and make sure I read them on the air before we get out. We open up the show tonight. Ricky Starks and Big Bill versus Bryan Danielson and Claudio Castagnoli. I don't know what happened in the first 10 minutes of this match, because all I could focus on was the 6-year-old girl who was screaming her damn head off at Ricky Starks for this entire matchup. Like, man, that girl had horror movie lungs. You know what I mean by that?
Okay, there were 3 girls. 3 girls front row, little girls cheering their brains out for Ricky Starks. I thought it was grown women, but it made sense to the high pitch afterwards. And I'm like, okay, it's little girls. I totally get it. I said, shout out to the girls ringside screaming for Ricky because they were expressing what we were all feeling.
Look, you want to know how loud they were? Like, I knew it was kids because I have kids. I know how ear-shattering they can be personally.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, God, somebody brought their young girl to the show, and they are having the time of their lives right now, and everybody in that arena is miserable. Shout out to commentary for somehow keeping composed and calling the match with that happening like 10 feet to their right, and giving them a shout-out on commentary, too, by the way. But, like, our good buddy Doc Mueller on Twitter was like, how is nobody taking that whistle away from whoever has it? He thought it was a whistle. I'm like, dude, that ain't no whistle. That is a 6-year-old having the time of her life right now. And my God, like, luckily that wasn't happening throughout the entirety of the show. I hope that girl has a voice tomorrow. That's all I'm going to say.
I want to say maybe somebody calms them down because it was weird. Like the first 10 minutes, I was also not paying attention because I thought like my window had a crack in it. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, maybe there's like something like the wind is like so loud outside and like it's coming in through that crack. So it's a high frequency and it wasn't. So I could not focus also for the first 10 minutes. And then I was just trying to find them and I'm like, where are they? They were literally next to commentary. So their moms never told them anything. Their parents, I don't know who was there with them. Nobody shut them up. But I feel like when, towards the end of the match, they were allowed to cheer or like somebody told them like, hey, relax, because then they kind of did. But man, lungs on them.
I've watched enough Impact from people who sit directly behind commentary who do the same thing because I tuned it out. I totally didn't hear it. Maybe I don't know how I didn't. I watched many an Impact where someone is screaming the entire show. So I didn't hear that. So I'm sorry, y'all. Maybe I'm deaf.
I don't know how. I don't know. You must sleep great at night. All right.
I pass away, drifting away. I'm dying.
Once I was able to get focused on the match, I liked what they did with Big Bill tonight. First off, I'm still not over that man taking Jon Moxley's blood and putting on his lips like lipstick and then parading around like he's in Clerks 2. That man's an absolute menace. I love what I'm seeing out of Big Bill lately. But like this man was a giant redwood that would not go down. Like not even Claudio could take this man off of his feet. Like looks like an unstoppable monster, even though John was able to catch him on Wednesday because Britt may be able to lose in Pennsylvania, but Jon Moxley don't lose in Cincinnati. Regardless, I thought Ricky had this match won when he hit the spear. Claudio cutting it a little too close for my heart when like they're already on the 2 count and his feet are still on the floor. I'm like, he found a way though.
You saw his face afterwards. He was like, yeah, I know I got it. All right, shut up. Continue the match.
But it was all for nothing because he ends up out on the floor. Ricky, right to the dick of Bryan Danielson, hits the Rochambeau and pins Danielson 1, 2, 3 to win this matchup. That set the tone for the night, Iridian, because I did not see that one coming.
Literally insane. And who else was insane? Nigel on commentary. This man was like talking about the strap match that Ricky and Bryan had. And he was like, oh, but he's married. He's been married for 9 years. He was already whipped. He had experience.
Like, Nigel was wilding on commentary tonight. Nigel said, oh, y'all missed that other guy. Let me tell you, the British are coming.
Insane. And then he also called him Little Brittle Bryan. What? Nigel.
Those two are going to fight. Like those two are gonna fight.
They're building to it. I just know that they are, and I'm just like with all his little smarky remarks towards Danielson tonight. I'm like, all right, when is this match happening? Because I know it's happening. Man, this. Once I got over commentary, I was like, okay, Big Bill, you're doing great. I don't appreciate that he brought out his bloody Timbs from a couple days ago. I was like, sir, you could have just worn new shoes. And he literally said he was going to go out there with these bloody shoes on. And I was like, that's nasty, sir. Put on some new shoes, please.
I feel like that's something that Bryan Danielson would respect, though. Like, yeah, it's like, all right.
It's a New York thing, Iridian. There's a proverb from New York that says it's never too hot for Timberlands. And he's from Queens. So
he says, I'm going to wear them. They're bloody. I'm making a statement, fashion statement. Okay, I guess. Man, I don't think that Ricky needed the low blow, which is different from the chance that I was praising of like, oh, well, grabbing the tights. What does that mean? Everybody grabs the tights, right? So I guess I could, maybe take this back a couple of weeks from now. But I was like, okay, Ricky, I thought you guys were doing really well. Or maybe I was just deaf at this point and blind from the screaming that I was not processing everything well. But I do like this team of Big Bill and Ricky. I think that they're really giving something more to Big Bill because we hadn't seen a lot of him, but I think he's really showing up and showing out in this little team that they have. So I'm glad that they picked up the win and now we get to see them more often. I do like that Nigel was also like, Ricky with the manager's license. They're really pushing these manager's license. So I think that's a little funny thing, but I do like this team. What do you guys think?
I think that Big Bill was presented superb, phenomenal. Tonight, he was the man that would not go down. Claudio gave him like the uppercut, lariat, forearm chops, like 20 of them, and he was still like, is that all you got? I'm not going down. It was fantastic. And when Claudio tried to swing him, I'm like, what are you doing? I'm not. Knock it off. You're not swinging that man. He's 7 feet tall and you can't teach that. And poor Ricky Starks, you are not 7 feet tall, so you were getting swung. This match was great. Him hitting Bryan Danielson in the wiener makes absolute sense for 2 reasons. One, something. Don't Bryan Danielson talk about wieners all the time? Something. 2. There's 2 devastating moves in wrestling: the surprise roll up and Yan Bag City. What you get hit, that you lose all your life points if you get hit in the Yan Bag, all of them instantly, and it takes you 2 minutes to recover, no matter how much you're pressing that A button. This was great. I love Ricky Stark's descent into madness. I love a good heel. I can't wait for the eventual Big Bill return, but we're not going to talk about that right now.
Yeah, no, look, this is the most invested I've been in Bill in a maybe ever, honestly, being completely honest here. And I love the pairing with him and Ricky. And I think Ricky's helped elevating him. And even in a match that he loses, like against John on Wednesday, he came out looking like the star to me. Like the guy, I mean, as yoked as he is, like as big as he is, I don't know how and considering where he has been in his life and where he is right now, I don't know how you can't root for the guy. So I'm happy for him. And I want to see more of him. Like I know Ricky is getting the spotlight right now, and let it shine on Ricky because he deserves every bit of it. But soon Bill's going to be screaming for his own part of the spotlight and maybe putting a shadow on Ricky by standing in front of him there a little bit. So I'm looking forward to that. And what I love the most about this though is because we'll kind of bounce around here. This wasn't the last time that we saw Ricky Starks tonight, because they did all of these promotion packages about what we got coming up on Grand Slam and what we got coming up on Grand Slam Rampage and what we got coming up on Wrestle Dream. And they do this big video package for Bryan Danielson and Zack Sabre Jr. for Wrestle Dream. And then we come back and Ricky Starks is pissed. And he's like, I beat this man. Yet he gets his big ass video package for this pay-per-view show that I'm not even on. And I'm just like, preach, number one. And then he just comes out and Iridian is challenging this man to a Texas death match on Collision next week. Last week, Bryan Danielson said that if this is his last year, it's going to be epic. This dude has started off this epic year with a challenge to Zack Sabre Jr., and now we're getting him and Ricky Starks in a Texas death match after we just watched the best strap match that's ever been put on. Like, Jesus, Bryan.
This is literally insane. Bryan Danielson is just in for probably the craziest wrestling year anyone has ever had. And, good for Ricky for standing up again and being like, why do y'all keep playing me dirty? Because literally every single week, this man gets like tossed to the side, and we know that he should be front and center. And he's like, y'all got packages for people who don't even work here. What is happening? So he was making sense. He was preaching. But man, a Texas death match. I need to mentally prepare for all of these matches that Danielson is going to have, because I know they are not going to be. They're going to be so pretty to watch, but also just I'm not ready for it. Cresta, what do you think?
Look at my visible anguish, man. I like both of these wrestlers. I don't want to see that. Me personally, is the match going to be good? Probably.
Yes.
Is the match going to be 27 stars in the Tokyo Dome? Absolutely. Most likely. Am I going to watch it? Oh, I hate bloody matches, man. And like Danielson, Moxley, to a lesser extent, Claudio, Castagnoli, but definitely Wheeler Yuta. That's how y'all give it up, okay? Ricky Starks, y'all get. I am visibly uncomfortable. I know this match is gonna slap, but like you said, I know that if this is how Danielson is starting his year, I want to already throw myself into a burrito and have a crisis counselor to be like, it's okay, it's kayfabe, Cresta, it's kayfabe.
He likes it. He enjoys what he's doing. He genuinely enjoys what he does. But my biggest thing is, all right, how are we booking this? Like, how are we booking this, and who's taking the L? That, like, we don't have to dive into it right now, but it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to see next week. We got some super chats and some humper chats I've been ignoring here. We got LaRon Ford saying that he enjoyed tonight's main event, but said that the ladies deserved more time than they got. Says it was the shortest main event in Collision history. I was a little concerned about the time when they started coming down to the ring, and I'm like, there's only 10 minutes left in this show. So I was happy that they did the overrun tonight.
Yeah.
I think it ended up being just shy of 12 minutes, the main event tonight. So yeah, I can understand that, wanting a little bit more time, but I get it. Ricardo the Fly with a humper chat saying, yo, people were talking shit about this card. Not exciting. Got to shit with a blah, blah. AEW bet, hold my beer. Loved this card. Love you guys. Hope your day was great. My day was exhausting because I was chasing around kids at a playground. But other than that, I'm doing good right now. How was your day, guys? Y'all doing good? Everything great?
It's a good day. It's a good day. Mexican Independence Day today, guys. There's fireworks right outside my house. It's on and popping.
Wait, I thought that was Cinco de Mayo. No, I'm kidding.
Not the American.
I'm kidding, by the way. We were literally talking. That was the whole thing that we had a conversation about. I knew it was. I'm sure some of you in the chat. I just taught you something. But what? Say it again.
Sorry, I fell asleep in the middle of the day. That's what I did.
A wonderful nap.
What's sleep? Nap. Sleep.
I don't know her.
Oh my goodness. Oh man, we got to get a quick word in here from our good buddy Sean Rossap.
Thank you guys so much for watching this show wherever you are in the world. But no matter where you are in the world, you can be wherever you want to be with NordVPN.com/Fightful. Change your virtual location with just one click on all of your devices. Phone, laptop, desktop, PC, router, TV, doesn't matter. You get that threat protection as well. Block online trackers, block annoying pop-up ads and malware, and help protect yourself when you're on that unsecured Wi-Fi and you're traveling. But also when you're traveling, maybe you miss your shows at home. Maybe you've got a service and it says, oh no, sorry, you can't watch that right now. You're out of the area. Not with NordVPN.com/Fightful. You can be wherever you want to be. You can also subscribe to a lot of services abroad that allow pay-per-views much more affordably than in the U.S. Get a great deal, get a month off, and get a 30-day money-back guarantee with NordVPN.com/Fightful.
All right, one more super chat that we got to get to here from LaRon Ford once again. We know TK is interested in Mercedes Moné, ladies, they bring up. But why would Mercedes be interested in coming to AEW after seeing how the women are presented?
And I hope.
Somebody said it.
I mean, I have had this feeling in my heart for a little bit. I think that AEW would be the better product for her to go back to, unless you want to go to Impact. But not for nothing, she gonna be CEO of Impact. Scott D'Amore gonna be back in the ring. I will say it might encourage them to book the women more frequently, better, this, that, and the third. I'm a firm believer if we can find 20, 30 minutes for Jeff Jarrett, Kara Jarrett, Satman Singh, Jay Lethal, we can find two matches for the women that one isn't a squash match. I don't know. It would really make them revamp it, but she left one place because you were doing the women dirty. Why would I go to another place that are doing the women objectively dirty?
Yeah, and I feel like in AEW, of course, she would have that control over what she wants to do, more creative stuff. But the way that it's working out right now, like she might as well just head back to WWE. Like it's not making any sense. So
Just stay in Japan.
Yeah.
I mean,
you are,
until you got hurt, you were living your best life. Like why you want to mess with these American companies? Like
but
what
now
really Impact.
With
it's
the
really only Impact.
That Jade is going back there. Like you're getting all these, women who maybe hopefully will get bigger stuff in WWE.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Look, WWE's women's booking has not exactly been heads and heels above AEW's women's but there are more stars. There's a bigger platform in WWE. That's just factual. We'll see. I thought Saraya coming in would force Tony Khan's hand. Maybe Mercedes Moné coming in.
And it didn't.
It didn't, unfortunately. It didn't.
I felt that way about Taya Valkyrie too, and low key Athena as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Athena. Yeah. We'll see.
Well.
All right, we got to do some speed round stuff here. We get the Hung Bucks accepting Mogul Embassy's challenge, and hey, they say we want the trios titles on the line, the Ring of Honor trios titles, that is. So match was made for Grand Slam Rampage next week. Powerhouse Hobbs is promising some pain to literally anybody and everybody, says no one is safe. Also talked about time to move on here a little bit. And in the promo afterwards here, ladies, that we got immediately following, we hear from Miro. Kind of makes it sound like when he talks about how he and Hobbs will meet again someday, sounds like they're moving on, at least for now, from this meat matchup. We're going to get some more meat matchups later that we'll get to. But then Miro really dived into some interesting things. I honestly went back and I watched this promo 3 different times to try to figure out what on God's green earth this man was talking about tonight. It was great shit. Don't get me wrong. I was enthralled with it, but I'm like, where are we going with this?
Oh my God.
First off, I love that he said he sent Hobbs to heaven, slammed him to hell, broke his back, but didn't humble him. We'll have to revisit that down the line. And then he starts talking to CJ Perry, his real life wife, and says, how dare she tempt him at All Out when he was at his weakest. Says every time he tries to get away, CJ tries to pull him back in. Little Godfather nod there. In her absence from this world, meaning the pro wrestling world, I believe, that has left so many gutless, but now they have hope because they pray to Miro. Promises to send anybody who wishes not to be redeemed back to CJ Perry in a pine box, Iridian. What the hell is this man spouting about? I'm intrigued. I'm thrilled to find out where we're going, but my goodness, I'm
confused.
I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss. Yeah, I'm at a loss.
And I was so confused that I just had to giggle because I didn't understand what was happening. And it was just weird. Like, I feel like I came out of that thinking like, all right, Miro, do you hate women? Specifically, your wife. Do you hate your wife? Like,
my wife. I hate her, actually.
He was like, again, hot and flexible wife. He said it in the promo. And I was like, okay, I don't know where this is going. I'm so confused. We still know that CJ Perry is not signed. So what is happening? Are we making her a manager? Where's the storyline going now that you're not going after Hobbs? I'm confused. I don't know.
I feel like eventually this is going to lead to, like, if I had to put my, Sherlock Holmes hat on here, I feel like Miro thinks that he is better as a competitor when CJ is not in his life and is not his manager. And I feel like sooner or later, his next big rival is going to end up being CJ Perry's first big client. If I'm, reading into that, that would be my guess. And that's going to be CJ's way to try to get Miro back, Cresta, is to try to take somebody who maybe is stuck on the undercard, maybe somebody like a Big Bill or somebody like that, and elevate them and say, look what I'm doing for them. I could be doing it for your dumbass, but you want to be, this big bad, I don't need my wife to help me out.
Count 3 of us into the confused category. I'll even go ahead and say that I was kind of confused even with the Hobbs promo. I like a lot of anime, and I do a lot of anime analogies, but one was Death Note and the other one was Yu-Gi-Oh! Because this guy had his book. I'm like, that book didn't help you. And the other one was like, I'm going to send you to the Shadow Realm, Hobbs. And it's like, but I guess, but you're just walking away from it. And why are you mad at your hot and flexible wife? Your wife is hot and flexible. Why are you mad at your hot and flexible? I'm so confused. So, I just decided to be sports entertained, pal. So I don't know what happened.
No, that's the thing. I'm not even hating on it because, I enjoyed the hell out of it. When this man speaks, I listen. I'll steal your line.
I'll listen. I might not understand, but I'll listen.
Yeah, I'm hearing what you're saying, but it's not computing.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Oh, I like what you had said, Rick, about maybe she could manage someone. And I think there is traction in a meat division. I know that sounds kind of silly, but if there's a ROH TV title and a digital media, a meat division with your meatiest members, if she manages someone like a Brian Cage, someone who's meaty and similar, Miracle, like, yo, get away from my hot and flexible wife. All right, get away from her.
Give me a super heavyweight division.
Yes.
You north of 300, you can compete for the super heavyweight title that we are going to call the meat title.
We get Paul White to announce every match. Well.
Our next match on the show was FTR defeating the Iron Savages to retain the AEW Tag Team Championships. I thought this was okay for what it was. Then we get a stare down with the Workhorseman Iridian, who received a "Who are you?" chant from the crowd at Penn State.
Rude. That was so rude because you heard that loud. You heard that loud and clear.
Yeah, I feel so bad for them on that one.
Nigel did it too. He's no better. Because I think it was Kevin Kelly was like, it's the Workhorseman, and Nigel really said super who?
Went full Snoop. Snoop.
Who?
Like, oh, those guys getting in the ring. I'm glad you said yo, Nigel, have you been sitting behind Don Callis? What's happening today?
Nigel was so out of pocket today. I cannot.
But after that, at least during this part where we see the stare down Iridian, we see Aussie Open watching from the backstage area. They come out later. They win an even shorter match. How short was that match? I had no idea who they even wrestled tonight. Did not get their names. So I apologize, Johnny Jobber and Jimmy Jobber. I don't know who you actually were. But then they get on the horn and they challenge FTR to Wrestle Dream. So
one guy's name is Pretty Boy Smooth. That's the only reason I know, because they said it on commentary, and that was it. That's the only one guy's name.
Only one.
All right, was that Johnny or Jimmy? Which one was that? Anyway.
Not me pressing the wrong button. I swear to God, I'm a professional. Never mind what I was going to say. I'm shutting up.
Clearly, I'm not. Anyway, so already, what you think? What you think of this whole setup that we're getting here for FTR and Aussie Open at Wrestle Dream? I like the fact that they're leaving the possibility that the Workhorsemen could win the AEW Tag Team title. No, they're not. We know their asses are losing next week. There's not a chance in hell.
We know after Nigel said who that their day was done. Okay,
bury them.
It was done. I'm so sorry for them. It was nice to see you. Come back soon. Aussie Open calling out FTR. I think this is going to be a good match. I would hope that FTR would then drop the titles and give it to Aussie Open. I feel like Aussie Open is just too good. But man, that match, I don't know what happened with that match because I literally didn't even write it down. I just said Aussie Open calls out FTR. That's how quick it was.
Not even an intro, not even a song, not even the person in there saying already in the ring, Johnny Jobber 1 and Viano number 2. Like none of that.
We just got them going in their Aussie Open, and then that's it. One more time for the win, called it a day. That was their night.
The check still cleared.
Yeah.
It's true.
I mean, that's an easy night's work.
Yeah.
Johnny and Jimmy. I mean, seriously, like I cannot complain about any of that. Look,
name in the comments, please.
What'd you say?
I said somebody put their names in the comments, please.
I can see it now.
Send a super chat or a humper chat. We're back.
So rude.
Who was there?
Cresta, Aussie Open and FTR. You think there's any chance Aussie Open walks away? Because look, Aussie Open is sitting here running down their resume tonight. They're saying, look, we are nobody to be trifled with. You win gold everywhere. We win gold everywhere. We want those AEW tag team titles.
Yeah.
Low key, I think Aussie Open could do it because just as decorated as FTR is, so is Aussie Open in almost every iteration of the whatever their, I don't know what their conglomerate is called with Will Ospreay and I feel like I'm missing somebody else. Sorry. But the point I'm trying to make is I think it might be time for FTR to drop them titles. Not because I don't think FTR is good, but I need them to do something new. And if this is the fire under our ass, not only did we lose it, we lost it to somebody who doesn't even go here. Are you kidding me? I think that'd be great. I think that'd be cute. But I don't see it happening.
I do believe Aussie Open is signed with AEW now, though.
Yeah.
I think they got the graphic.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, they are. So
well,
they do
I'm
work
a jabroni. Well.
I'm not trying to call you out or anything. I was just like trying to reaffirm. I thought I saw them get the graphic at some point. So it is hard to it's hard to judge who does because we get so many people who don't work there that show up on a regular basis.
Exactly.
Like we just talked about CJ Perry. She ain't signed there. We just
I'm
saw
trying to get a manager's license
so
I can show up
for like the 8th time on Collision, and they don't work there. So.
Technically, doesn't Claudio not work there? Doesn't Claudio? Isn't he Ring of Honor champion?
I mean, yeah. I mean, we get like Ring of Honor and all that stuff, but he got the graphic. Like they all under the same umbrella. Like, look, Tony Khan is just like, Endeavor. Tony, he's the umbrella that's over top of like AEW and Ring of Honor. It's just no different than WWE and UFC. Like they all getting the checks from the same place.
The check's still clear.
The check still be clear, and they all say Khan on the check. That's all it is.
Khan, man.
Oh boy. So we get an exchange with Keith Lee and Shane Taylor tonight, which I'm not mad about. But my Lord, what the hell happened in the production truck tonight?
Was that for real? Was that a work?
I feel like that was a work. I want to say because the Young Bucks before were yelling at Brandon because they were like, all right, Brandon, turn the camera off and do that. And then I
think y'all are giving them way too much credit.
Well, because they kept the theme because it wasn't the only promo that had something with that. Later that night, someone else cut a promo and it was like, all right, are we starting? Like, what's happening? So either, I don't know.
It was the Big Bill, Ricky Starks one later on in the night. Mm-hmm. I will say that wrestling has me so messed up, especially RIP to Bray Wyatt. Subtle things like this. I'm like, who's coming?
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing? What we messing with production?
What are we looking at?
Is it scripts? But you know what I mean? I think that AEW is not that unpolished.
Yes.
Things like this are deliberate. So my eyes, because if it happened once, I was like, okay, because I literally wrote Collision Keith Lee take 22. But then it happened again. Yes. And they always do that thing with Brandon. So now I'm like, I no trusts.
So depends on it.
So here's my thing. I knew something was up with this one when commentary was trying to stall before pitching it back to Lexi and Keith Lee, which tells me the production truck was sitting there like, wait, hold on. We don't have it queued up yet. And then they had it at the wrong cue and played it. And it was like, take 22, snap, here we go. And also Keith Lee just retweeted like a shot of him standing there, LOL. On Twitter. So I think when Ricky came back, I give Ricky a lot of credit and Big Bill when they came back at the end of the night, they were actually live. And then they did something to, kind kind of call attention to it and this, that, and the other thing. So there were a lot of production issues tonight. Like, can we never hold a cell phone up to a microphone and think that that's loud enough, or at least, like there were a lot of sound things that happened tonight that just like, just me as an audio person, and I'm sure Iridian, you can, same thing. I'm just sitting here gritting my teeth like, Jesus Christ, this has nobody heard of normalizing. Like, please, for the love of God, turn the volume up on this stuff in post. Please, for the love of God. But anyway, I do like this. I like this a lot, actually. Once we get past the technical difficulties, Keith Lee, Shane Taylor adding Lee Moriarty to his, I forget what it's called.
Shane Taylor Promotions.
Thank you. I wanted to say productions, but that wasn't right. So promotions. You want to talk about the meat title? Here we go. Let's throw these two dudes who have a long history with one another. They were tag team partners in Ring of Honor before Keith Lee made his way over to WWE. Yeah, Iridian signed me up for this. I'm good. Shane Taylor impressed the hell out of me against Samoa Joe at All Out. Please, more of him on my television screen.
Same. I'm right there with you. I think we definitely need to see more of them, and we absolutely need a meat division, like Cresta said. Why not? Why not? I feel like you have enough men who are in this specific, weight class to be able to do it, like the big meaty men. You got them. So why not? Let's do it. Cresta, what do you think?
I'm gonna have to swagger jack Impact and say the meat division is not about weight limits, it's about meat limits. Because there are some meaty women on that roster too. I mean, I would be a liar if I said if Mercedes Martinez and Kris Statlander did a 30-minute classic or a big meaty men class, meaty women, I'd be happy. Have a Max the Impaler show up and a big meaty them. Sign me up. Sign me up. I want a meat division. Somebody somewhere needs to have a damn meat division, and that'll be just for me. Just booking it for Cresta Star. I don't want a meat division. AEW, it's right there. It's right there. Like the Christian Cage versus Adam Page versus. It's right there. Stop. Don't squab it. It's right there. It's literally right there.
We got some super chats and humper chats to get to. Carlos Candido says Miro is having bad flashbacks when he was in WWE when CJ was with Lashley. Ronald Hollick saying love that we're getting Aussie Open versus FTR, but why did they lose to Sammy and Jericho if they are the ones that are going for the AEW Tag Team Championships? Good question.
You're asking too many questions.
Too many questions. Just way too many questions. Marcus going, Jade versus Bianca or Rhea is WrestleMania main event worthy. Jade is that bitch, period. I added the but anyway. Man, you ain't wrong, but Rhea versus Becky is also main event quality. And I feel like with Dwayne around, we may have a lot of main event quality matches coming up at WrestleMania 40 this year.
And the two nights we got.
And who knows? And who knows by the time WrestleMania 40 rolls around, who else is going to be in WWE? I mean, just saying, we don't know. CM Punk says he's free for the next 2 months.
Look in my eye. I would pop. I would laugh. I would pop. And then I would immediately hear Seth Rollins, Philly Phil, stay away.
So, for example, all right, like how hard would this be, right? And I know we're already way behind. We got a lot more show we got to get to. But let's just say it's going to be that kind of night, right? Let's just say that we get The Rock and Roman Reigns. We get CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. We get Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley. We get Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill. Who the hell are your main events? Rock and Roman are closing one, but you have those other three matches. Which one are you picking to close night one? Exactly my point. Like
you'd have to double main. It would have to be one night.
We going to 3 nights.
We're going to 3 nights.
3 nights.
CM Punk is opening one night because I know they just want to get him out of there. They got
Monday.
Got to get him out of there to avoid conflict. He said, "I'm in and out. I'm opening the show."
And then everybody else. Look, bro, can you imagine CM Punk winning at the Rumble?
I would walk out.
Bro, all you hear, number 28. Yo, the crowd would either be mad or nuclear. Like, there's no in between.
Oh, well, if Punk wins the Royal Rumble, he's challenging Seth, right?
Oh,
if,
yeah.
If Rock is there.
Has to.
So then they both finally get what they want. But do they? Because they'd be the main event of night one. So both of them would still have that damn chip on their shoulder that they didn't actually close the show.
I'm just fantasy booking this.
Drew with a super chat saying, I have railed against AEW's audio issues for at least a year now. They need to fix it. Crowds sound louder in the building. They definitely do seem to have a problem, because there have been some times where they've been trying to like flip from like the house to make it to like getting stuff on TV and in the house at the same time, which is why we had Roddy Strong 2 weeks ago doing his Streetcar by Desire routine where he's screaming Adam over and over and over again, and we're hearing it on the TV screen, but Adam Cole ain't hearing it in the ring. Yeah, they got some audio stuff that they gotta clean up for sure. John Silver versus Anthony Bowens was a match we got tonight. Billy Gunn and Max Caster were banned from ringside. They didn't know it though because they didn't read the contract. Always read the fine print. Jeez.
It just happened to Ricky. It literally just happened to Ricky.
Always read the fine print. Hell, it happened to Ethan Page and Matt Hardy. Why does nobody read the damn contracts before they sign them?
Because I'm paid to lift men up and put them down. I'm not paid to read. Sir. That's smart Mark Sterling's job.
Fair. Well, if you don't have a smart Mark Sterling in your corner, read the damn contract. Anyway, this leads to Johnny Hungy getting a win tonight over Anthony Bowens because Evil Uno gets out from under the ring, blindsides the man. He runs into a knee, and Dark Order are off and running. I like this new version of the Dark Order. Like, they actually feel like something's going on. They feel important again. They just don't feel like background noise. We're going to show up and get beat. Like, dare I say, I believe in the Dark Order, Iridian. Like, I have faith in the Dark Order.
I wanted to join the Dark Order since day one. They got me with that first advertisement. They said, join the Dark Order. I said, okay, I'm there.
I don't even know what it is, but I'm in.
I'm in. Absolutely. I really am super excited that John Silver picked up the win. I feel like he's such an underrated talent. And now that they're finally picking up some steam, I feel like they could really do something with Dark Order in this division. So I'm excited. Hopefully they get more TV time. Hopefully this leads to a championship run. I don't know. I am such a fan of the Dark Order, and I feel like they just haven't been getting their flowers. So hopefully, we're on the right track now and we are getting them towards those championships.
I think we've said, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think we've said it before on this show, how Dark Order and Best Friends and even 2.0, they don't really get their shine, and they've been there since the very beginning.
Yeah.
And I don't hate Dark Order being bad guys heels. I feel like back to our roots. R.I.P. when Brody Lee was still alive. He was out here being a jerk. So why are we trying to be good guys? That's what we messed up. We tried to be good guys. It's time to be evil. I don't want to feel good. I want to feel evil. And I think that's about time where we go back to.
Yeah, I'm liking it. I got some humper chats here from Bizarro Big L. Love the support, man, as always. The meat division, or the A5, 16 tourney needs to be real. We got enough of these boys. And then to review these matches, the scale is grade A beef or bologna. Love that. Where is the beef? Also, Cresta, the group is the United Empire. Thank you. I couldn't think of it either. And Aussie Open versus FTR is going to slap so hard, he said.
Literally.
Then we got another one from Bizarro Big L. I do think Big Bill and Zangief was a good tag team. But Zangief, excuse me, was a good tag team, but they are not ready for a turn when Mogul Embassy is rolling. Nana made the new Macarena. And the Hung Bucks versus the Moguls is going to hit so hard, he says. Also, as hard as Shane Taylor Promotions versus Keith Lee. Holy meat! Exclamation points everywhere in that humper chat. Thank you so much, Bizarro. We appreciate it. I have about 19 exclamation points in all caps where I literally wrote, and pardon my French, we're close enough to midnight here, Eddie fucking Kingston. No notes. What a promo. That's literally what I wrote tonight.
10 out of 10. No notes.
10 out of 10. No notes. It felt so real. It felt like literally Jay just said, Eddie, go out there and cut it. Like from the beginning, he's like, what do you want me to say at this point? And then dude, bro, just went into it. Iridian gave us the Cliff Notes version of why he hates Claudio Castagnoli, why he has held on to the beef as long as he has. And then he just said, look, yeah, you're right. I've got demons. I have friends. I push them away and I blame them. That's my problem. That's what I got to deal with in life. And I'm going to continue to deal with it. But you know who I got with me? The city of New York. And then he just said, we are going to F you up. All right. I said my one F-bomb. Like, he is coming for everything against Claudio Castagnoli. Like, there was so many good points in this promo. Like, this is promo class 101. Make it real. Be yourself. Be authentic. If you got to drop an F-bomb, thank God the production was on that one and they bleeped it.
Eddie Kingston is such a promo icon. Literally, anytime he cuts a promo, I'm just like, yes, Eddie, I believe you. I'm right there with you. I'm behind you. Let's do this. And man, tonight was no different when he was talking to Claudio and saying, hey, man, when you left potholes and we had to fill in those gaps. So what, the respect thing, people can look that up on YouTube. He's like, that story is out there. So he's like, I'm not saying it again. You do your research. We've talked about this time and time again. And man, I am so ready. Like, Eddie Kingston is one to hype people up. And man, he was just talking to production. Bleep that out. Don't bleep this out. Like, he was running this show. Absolutely ready. And good for him. We stand Eddie Kingston on Fightful.
Absolutely.
Cresta, your thoughts?
Sorry. I was waiting for you to talk. I feel like I stay cutting you off, so I shut up this time.
No. No, you're good.
If Eddie Kingston doesn't win this Wednesday, I'm gonna be there at All Out. Not All Out, I'm sorry. At Grand Slam. I'm gonna be there. So I cannot guarantee what's gonna happen. Look, but it's like
I'm sure there will be signs, but I feel like if Eddie loses this match, there will be a literal damn riot.
Bro, they're gonna start throwing stuff in the ring like this is Hulk Hogan, third man. Like I love New York, but I also know how New York gives it up. Please, Eddie Kingston cannot lose. I think Claudio Castagnoli, he can't lose. He can't lose. He's always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Let Claudio win, okay? Not Claudio. Let Eddie win, okay? Let Eddie win. I don't understand.
Yeah, and Claudio already has a win up on Eddie. Like, you can give it to Eddie this time.
Make him do a third one. I don't think you'd be mad.
I feel like that would be, because that's not going to be the match that main events the show. I don't think. Although maybe you could argue that it could be, but
so he's not going to get the confetti, is what you're saying? There's not going to be confetti cannons for him? I'm already upset.
Are you saying that Eddie Kingston's not going to come out to DMX in his hometown?
I'm just saying, like, if basically where I'm going with that is I would hope that if Eddie's going to win, they would close the show with that, because that's going to be the moment of the damn night. Like, that's where your show is going to peak. Yeah. Like, unless Samoa Joe beats MJF, which, God, I actually do hope that happens.
Yo, say
we could get like 4 title changes on this show and I will be a very happy man. But yeah, man, like, unless that happens, I feel like that's the moment that needs to close the show. Like, that's going to be the moment of night. That's where it's going to peak, because that pop when Eddie beats Claudio, and he should beat Claudio Iridian, is going to be insane. It's going to be absolutely insane.
Absolutely. You got both titles on the line. Like, come on. There's a little give and take there. Like, Eddie has fought Claudio for this title already. Like, come on. Like, we gotta speed things up here. Eddie needs this win. And I feel like you can't keep giving him the short end of the stick when he's one of your top performers. He's got great storylines. He connects with the fans. So now is the time to pull the trigger on this. Like, Eddie needs to win. I need the confetti. I need them to close the show. And literally the DMX, I absolutely come
on now. If y'all could buy Final Countdown for two times, you can get DMX. Y'all be eating long enough now. Stop it. Oh my, the crowd would blow up. Blow. Come on now. Tony Khan, that one was free. I got another one. I got another one for you about people. Come on, Tony Khan. I got it for you. Just call me.
Do we think the Blackpool Combat Club is so interesting right now because Bryan Danielson is clearly over AF babyface. John Moxley, I feel like, is in that tweener position right now. Claudio seems like a heel, and everybody on this planet hates Wheeler Yuta. Like it like not me either, but like every fan hates
Wheeler Yuta. I don't know why nobody doesn't like. He really gets the short end of the stick. He's the whooping boy.
I know he is. Like I don't get it. I do like Wheeler Yuta a lot. Maybe they just need to talk to. Maybe the fans just need to talk to the man in person because he's great. Yeah. But like it's such a weird dynamic with the Blackpool Combat Club right now. Do we think John Moxley gets involved? Because like Eddie brings up John's name. Now that promo felt so off the cuff.
That's true.
But maybe they mentioned it for a reason. I don't know. I don't know if there's shenanigans in this. I want Eddie to win so bad, but I would not be surprised if Wheeler gets involved, if something happens and Claudio ends up beating him again. Like
not in his hometown. 2 weeks in a row in the hometown. Ooh, no. Tony Khan, you cruising for a bruising.
If Claudio wins that match, I pray for everybody inside Arthur Ashe. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yo, if that's the last match and he loses, I'm gonna be on FaceTime. Like, guys, I gotta go.
That is going to be that is going to be the beat having to unplug from the stage and just really fleeing the arena. Like that is like grab your shit and go. If that ends up happening, there's like production, just leave the ring. Everybody get the hell out. We'll come back for what's left later. Here's our Renee Paquette appreciation moment of the night. Orange Cassidy and Hook backstage eating chips, and Renee just like playing along with this. Like she has no idea why she's there. She has no idea what the hell is going on. Like these two dudes are just passing off one word responses, having a conversation with each other, almost like Renee's not even there, just eating. I'm like, damn, can one of y'all offer her a chip? Like it looks like she wanted a chip. Just give Renee a damn chip. But like the way that she transformed it at the end, where they're like, hey, maybe we should do a tag match. Cool. Grand Slam, Arthur Ashe. Let's do it. Awesome. And she's just sitting there throwing the mic back and forth, and she finally just like goes with the flow of the moment and is like, cool. Don't even know who they're gonna fight, but like we know they're getting a match at great. This was so like on point and such a fun little segment. Like I love Renee can put herself in any environment, any situation, and just adapt to it, and it's great.
Yeah, and you know what? We had a lot of fun little segments like this, but Renee in particular, I think that she just livens up a scene a little bit more. So between Orange and Hook, this was like, perfection. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Again, this was the same thing. No notes. What a promo for completely different reasons. Different reasons.
You guys said everything I was gonna say.
Fair enough, because we got a lot more that we got to get to. We're already at an hour and 16. And thank you for the nearly 300 people who are still here. Do us a favor, like this video, give us a thumbs up. Maybe let more people know that we're still on the air right now. Even though we shouldn't be, we'll probably get that for going way too long, but regardless. And subscribe to the Fightful YouTube channel if you haven't already. And subscribe to Fightful Select. It's just $5. And if this night wasn't blessed enough, we go from Renee with Orange Cassidy and Hook to RJ City and Tony Storm.
This was chaotic as hell.
What was this called? Portrait of a Star? Is that what this series is called? This is part 1 of Portrait of a Star. And before RJ City can even say anything, Tony's complaining about the lighting.
She said, stop the lights. They're too bright. Can we do something, please? She was clutching her pearls. Did you see? Clutching her pearls.
Well, as we saw on Wednesday, if she doesn't clutch them, somebody's going to break them. Poor Ricky got his pearls broken.
True.
Facts. She knows what's up. RJ City, I forget honestly what his question even was to her. Something, whatever. Talks about the match that she's got coming up.
Fighting Saraya.
She's talking about the match. I'm like verbatim. I forget exactly what it was that that he asked her, but she goes into this tangent about how like, look, I'm still the same. I haven't changed. It's the business that has changed, Cresta. The business that has changed. She thought AEW was a company, not a charity that hires women who wouldn't know talent if it slapped their tits off. Like, the fact that she can work tits into like every show now, and that's her gimmick. I love her for that so much. It works. It's such a British thing. It's like such a UK thing to do, and it's effing great. I love it. They've literally putting this on shirts now. Spectacular. She thought AEW was about being stars and making money. I'm telling you what, she is a star, and she's gonna make a shit ton of money if they keep doing this, Cresta.
Honestly, this is such a good gimmick. Honestly, from the way she started off the interview, like, oh, I can't believe I had to wake up out of my bed. It's Joan Rivers' camp. It's his camp, and I love every moment of it because she could really go in the ring. So this is such good juxtaposition of like, wow, you hip attacking girls and you yeeting girls, and as soon as it's over, it's like, yes, oh my God, I won. This is fantastic, and this was Goblin Hours. Also, RJ City is the perfect person to interview this goblin with two goblins together. Put Juice Robinson in there, and you've got chaos.
I mean, Juice is doing his own thing right now, but I mean, dang, I would love to hear I'd love to know what other people are thinking about this. Get your super chats in, get your humper chats in. We got plenty of time still. We'll get through all of them. We got 3 more segments to talk about, but we will get through all of them. Iridian, this is only part 1. And after like she goes through this rant, then she starts bitching about the lamp behind her, and RJ's like, "Can we do something about the lamp? Like, I'm at a loss for what to do next here." And this is only part 1. This is only part 1. Like, Tony can't beat Saraya on Wednesday because I don't want any dynamic to change. Like, she still has to be this lost soul who's trying to find herself, and right now she's just blaming the world for everything. Everything's wrong in her world right now, but it's so right because it's working for her on screen.
Man, this Portrait of a Star series is going to be amazing. Toni Storm is just so phenomenal in this role. She looks like she's always shivering, like she's just a little too cold, like her jewelry is going to fly out. That's why she's clutching it. She is like so tired. You know, her eyes can't adjust to any brightness. She was like trying to get help from anybody. RJ was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know who to
And that
ask.
rarely happens. You can rarely leave RJ lost for words.
He was like panicked in his seat. I was like, RJ, sir, do something. Get up and turn a light off. Close the curtain. Like, come on. You gotta help the star over here.
He played his role to perfection tonight.
It was so good, and I can't wait for more of these. I hope that RJ is always the one to interview them.
Yes.
To interview Tony. I feel like their pairing is just so good. But man, I just absolutely love this character, and I hope that we get a really, really long run with this because it is just perfection.
Mm-hmm. And yo, Rick, earlier you had said Streetcar Named Desire, where Roderick Strong was like, Adam, this is giving Glass Menagerie. Well, I've always depended on the kindness of strangers.
Oh, that's good. Oh my God, that's a good one.
Tell me I'm wrong, and I'll call you a lie. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
You ain't telling any lies. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. Here's another lie, or not another lie. It's late. We need to end this damn show. Scorpio Sky is back, and I'm happy for it. I thought his match with Andrade tonight, Mr. Idolo, as some others would say, I thought it was really, really good. These guys have great chemistry with one another. I love the finish where Andrade comes in and gives him the low drop kick right to the bad knees. And he looks like he just got the soul kicked out of his body, like completely just does the flip in the air. And I love the fact that Andrade is doing the figure 8 as a finish, like homage to the queen. Like, more of that, please. Like, I love that. I absolutely love that. Like, I want to see Seth Rollins like win a match with a disarmer like so damn bad one day.
It's so good.
Right?
If your husband doesn't love you like this, I don't want him. I don't want it. I don't want it.
But I thought this was really good. And then afterwards, We get Bullet Club Gold coming out. Jay White says he saw Andrade watching his boys last week, says he can't have his boys, but you know what? He can have a shot at that Jay White spotlight next week, or he can get some now. Andrade was like, I'll get some now, but here we get security coming out because Tony Khan is smart and he wants to protect this. He wants to be able to put this match on next week. We're going to get it next week. There was a lot to like here, Iridian.
It was so good, man. The only thing that I really had a problem with is like I feel like they went to picture in picture too quick, and I'm just like, man, we're getting Scorpio Sky back. We haven't seen him in a while, so that was like my only thing. But then when the Bullet Club came out, I was like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? I'm ready. Let's do this. And shout out to Jay White, who probably has a little bit of Spanish in him because he said Andrade el ídolo, and I was like, on what? On Mexican Independence Day? I am here for it. Mad respect, Jay White. Bang, bang, gang for life. Love to see it.
Jay White, Cresta. I saw somebody else put this out on Twitter, and I wish I could remember who it was so I can give them proper credit. But they're absolutely right. Jay White has taken to American television, promo style delivery, performing in front of the crowd with a microphone like a duck to water. Like he just feels at home in this when he's literally running down everybody in the Bullet Club and he's given everybody like their own little introduction and their own little nicknames, including the damn cutout. And then he gets to Austin Gunn and he's like, Austin Gunn. And he's just like, really, mother? Like, whatever. All right, we cool.
Everybody got a nickname that innuendoed the size and the girth and the sheer strength of their manhood. Even the cardboard got one. And then you got Austin Gunn. And then right after that, ass boy chance. They can't win. Much like Evil Uno had to get away from underneath that ring. Danhausen has cursed them all again. Like this group is so good. And I agree with that Jay White, Auntie, he's such a good heel to be so young, so agile. He is a jerk, and I like it. I also thought he was going to invite Andrade to Bullet Club Gold. And I'm like, But now this comes back to what me and Iridian were talking about one time on the 2-woman power trip. Now, are we LFJ, LFI? I don't know who is who. You guys are going to cook me. Please do so. And I understand. But like, Andrade's not going to get a fair shot at Jay White, who's going to cheat him out his boots. So I hope Roosh and Roosh and Preston Vance and who is the third person? This is Julistico, no? There's so many wrestlers. My brain is soup, and it is 11:37 in the evening. The point I'm trying to make is Andrade about to get cheated out his boots. So I hope that other group that he's with is ready because I want that versus Bullet Club Gold. Because guess what? Blood and guts. I see you, Tony Khan. I see you. And yes.
And
but it would make sense.
With the cardboard cutout too?
Yes. And the cardboard cutout versus Jose the assistant. Stop it.
Man. That is such a squash match. Jose would get beat so damn fast.
He's not going to get an entrance or anything.
Damn. Then they're going to play Andrade's entrance.
What do we think about Scorpio Sky's big return? He loses this match tonight. What do you think they could do with Scorpio here moving forward, Iridian?
Oh, man. They need to feature him on Collision, and start booking him to win. I get it. You had your match against Andrade, and Andrade is also getting a little build up. Also, I feel like it's Mexican Independence Day. Like I said, you cannot have the Mexican lose, right? So that's what I was thinking. That's what my brain went to.
That's a Vince McMahon playbook.
They're learning. They're learning.
They had him lose to the cardboard cutout at that.
We would have had Andrade lose tonight and Britt Baker lose tonight.
Oh my God. No. That would have been too much. Man, Scorpio, I feel like, all right, maybe tonight was not your night, but maybe it's not my weekend. It's going to be his year, right? That's what we got to think. It's in the long term that it's going to work out. So I guess that's what we can hope for. And maybe his matches won't be matches where they're all picture in picture. That's what I hope for.
Agreed.
Look, I think just him being in the ring tonight, Cresta, is a win, right? We have seen so little of him. He was healthy for so long, then he comes back. He has maybe one match on Collision, and then he ends up getting hurt again. Yeah. And now that he's back, I think this was a good start for him tonight. I did like this match a lot with Andrade.
I think the match itself was good, but it doesn't feel good to come back and lose. Granted, of all the people you could lose to, Andrade is not a bad dance partner to lose to.
Yeah.
I want more for him. I mean, do like everybody else does. Come back and beat up Darby Allin. I know that sounds kind of mean, but it's the truth. But okay, but I'm not wrong. It's kind of like if you want to if you really want to go heel, you beat up Rey Mysterio. So come on,
yeah. I don't know if he's gonna be heel though. He did shake Andrade's hand at the end of the match, like after the he did the whole I'm gonna shake the referee's hand. I think when he came back, he was a heel, and Andrade was like, "All right, MFer, whatever, let's just go." And then at the end of the match, he's sitting on his ass, but he did shake Andrade's hand. So I'm interested to see where Scorpio goes. Hopefully he just get him on TV every week. Get him on TV every week. We get Shibata talking through his phone, which again I mentioned was just terrible because it was not like I get what they're going for, but you could have maybe this was live and they didn't realize that the phone wouldn't come through the microphone. Maybe I don't know. This just didn't work. Anyway, he's gonna be at Wrestle Dream. Awesome.
You know what that was? Do you remember the TikTok videos where people were just like, get 30% off at Kohl's? That's what I thought when I heard him. That's what I thought when he had the Google voice. I like, this fit you, Shibata, because you're too serious, but this was very unserious. This was extremely unserious.
You just got poor Tony just standing there going.
Tony Khan. Shibata at Red Page. Dynamite. Let me stop. I'm trying to get a job. Let me stop.
We got an announcement that we're getting RVD next week. Hell yeah. Cool. I'm good with that. I thought the one match he had back was great. I was pleasantly surprised. So sign me up for some more RVD next week. Last match, last segment to talk about tonight. The Hardys versus the Righteous. Vincent and Dutch. This is the Hardys Collision debut, and it ends in defeat. Dutch was the difference maker in this one. Matt hits the side effect, but as Jeff goes up for the Swanton Bomb, Dutch gets up, shoves him off. Not only that, he takes out Matt. That allows Vincent to pick up the win. And then Dutch and Vincent get on the microphone. I'm sorry, y'all. This is where the show bottomed out for me. I did not believe anything that Dutch said. Like the laugh was bad. Like the delivery, it was bad acting. Like for me, a lot of this was bad acting. The crowd wasn't into it either. They were booing and chanting stuff at Vincent. And then finally he gets to the damn point because I didn't understand what he was talking about. Finally, he just says, "Hey, we want Adam Cole and MJF for the Ring of Honor Tag Team titles." And I'm like, okay, cool. Great. I know where this is going. None of this worked for me, unfortunately. That's about as objective as I can be on this. Iridian, what do you think?
On my notes, I wrote, question mark. So that's that's all I got. I'm so sorry. I was not productive during this match because I really thought I was like, oh my God, the Hardys on Collision. I'm so excited to see my boys. And then they lost. I was like, what? This is not good. This is not good. And mind you, I don't know much about the Righteous, so that also didn't help. But they are going straight to the top. Apparently they want the top of the food chain. They said Adam Cole and MJF. And I guess that is a little admirable. Good for them. I don't think they'll get it, but props to them for trying.
I mean, maybe they potentially they've been doing some good stuff on Ring of Honor. Somebody can let me know in a super chat or this isn't anything against Ring of Honor, but like I just need a night where I don't watch wrestling, and for me that's Thursdays. Typically that's like my golf league, so I'm not up to date on what's been going on in Ring of Honor. So maybe they've been doing some good stuff there. Cresta, I don't know. I know you watch wrestling on Thursdays, but that's Impact. So yeah, to me, I don't know. This just didn't hit, and I am a little bit surprised that the Hardys aren't more prominently featured. Like,
it's Jeff and Matt Hardy. Like,
yeah, is this like a trial run to see how Jeff handles himself now that he's back on the road before they do anything and dive deep into the creative pool with the Hardys? I don't know, but I don't know, Cresta. What'd you think?
I mean, so a few things. I feel like I've lived long enough to see the Hardys go from a main attraction to almost enhancement talk. Because I feel like the Hardys have been losing a lot. Maybe it's just me. But also, they're also older. The Righteous is younger. I'm a little bit biased against Vincent because the last time I saw him was an Impact, Honor No More, and he had to go then. The Hills Have Eyes, Murder Hippies, it doesn't do it for me. I'm not a fan personally. I'm here for a good preacher moment with the you need to see and Lord Jesus put $1 in the basket. I'm here for it. But to me, it didn't make any sense. Once you got to Fake Friends, I'm like, okay, it makes sense. Now, I want y'all to take it off of them? Kind of, because I think the tag team impact, no. Ring of Honor tag team championships need to be in Ring of Honor, which the Righteous are. But are you the team to do it against NJF and Adam Cole? I don't think, love. It might be a good match, but I'm biased. This is a Kate question. Matter of fact, this is a Kate question. This is a Righteous Reg and Kate question.
So just looking at since Double or Nothing. I mean, actually, that was Double or Nothing. I'm looking at the wrong Double or Nothing. Right. So I'm just looking at what Jeff Hardy's been doing since he got back. Right. So he comes back. They do the firm deletion match. They win that. Hook, Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, they beat the Guns and Ethan Page at Double or Nothing. They win a couple of house show matches, but they lose to Dynamite. This is back on June 21st. They lose on Dynamite to the Guns. They lose at the tag team battle royal. They did win a 6-person tag team match in which they competed with Keith Lee on their team against Kip Sabian, the Blade, and the Butcher. Okay. They've lost every match since then, except for this Rampage taping on September 13th, where they won with, Penta and Rey Fenix. So it has been a lot of losing. Jeff Hardy lost to Jeff Jarrett. He lost to Samoa Joe in the opening round of the Eliminator tournament. I mean,
that's not right. Not no Jeff Jarrett.
He lost the Texas Chainsaw Massacre match.
Yeah, I forgot.
I forgot about. Honestly, put that match out of my head.
I blacked that match out. TBH.
So I don't know. Like, I feel like you have the Hardys. You don't know how long you're going to have the Hardys, and you're not utilizing the Hardy. It seems weird, and I know that's like for me because I'm like, please push some of the younger guys, push some of the younger guys, push some of the younger guys, but like. Also, at the same time, you got the Hardys, and you're not not
using them. At least make them some new T-shirts or something. Like, dang, at least let them make money. Like,
or a cardboard cutout of Jeff like this, and another one hit like.
With the arms, they have to move. Like,
yeah,
you can just.
Come on, that's free merch. Tony, you giving away the game for free tonight? What's going on?
Like, honestly, their run right now feels like their last run in WWE.
Yeah. And it's sad to see because you're like, oh man, I remember the Hardys and I just know what they were doing. And it's like, I know that they could be doing that now, but it's just not giving what it used to.
Can they though? Think about the way they used to wrestle, breakneck speed. And I think about when Matt first got to AEW, there was some gnarly table spots with Sammy Guevara. So it's like, while on the one hand, it sucks. But on the other hand, man, I want you to be here and take your time and be like Sting doing a couple of tumbles. But I think that is a give and take. You can't be doing swanton bombs and you're 40 and your back is like 70. You know what I mean? No shade. No shade. I want them to be around, but I don't think they can wrestle the way they used to.
They can still be using them creatively, though.
Yeah. You
Delete is over.
Delete absolutely over. Yeah, and I think they don't have to be doing these crazy moves. Like, you can have them doing these backstage segments. You can have them on commentary. You can have them doing things with RJ City too. Like, they could have their own little segments back there. That would be hilarious.
That would be fantastic, actually.
And if you have them in these, shorter matches, at least give them the win. Like, come on, we got to build towards something. It just feels like they come out every now and then for people to cheer, and then they lose.
That's rude. That's very rude.
Disrespectful.
Because I feel like, let's just say Ed shows up in AEW.
Scandalous. That would be scandalous.
Everybody's going to want Edge and Christian versus the Hardys.
Absolutely.
And somehow Bully Ray will find his way into AEW, and we're going to get tables and ladders and chairs. Oh, my.
They signed a Legends contract. They signed a Legends contract. The Dudleys did. So that's not happening.
They just did something at Impact 1000.
Yeah, but I mean, like, they're going. I think after that, they were going to. Yeah. So I don't know. I doubt that would happen. I thought the same thing. I thought, oh shit, maybe the Dudleys would, get involved in that, but they're not. But like, that's one of those matches that has to happen. But granted, they're also the Hardys and they're bulletproof. So they could go from jobbers tonight to beating the Young Bucks next Wednesday, right? Like, like if they did it, would you be surprised? Is what I'm saying. You can heat them up real fast, but it just feels like, I don't know, it just feels like they're not doing anything.
I'd pop if they pinned FTR just because I like chaos. Call me Juice Robinson. I think that would be hilarious. That'd be hilarious, as a matter of fact. I would pop it. I would defend it too. I would defend it.
Same.
All right, we've been on for a long time. Iridian, what you got going on? What can people follow your stuff?
You guys can follow me and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Rest Friends. That's WREST Friends. We got all the good gossip, chisme. You can find it there. And make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Same as my name right here on this little corner, Iridian_Fierro. Cresta, what you got for the people?
Ladies and gentlemen, on Twitter, X or whatever it's called, Cresta the Star. I have a link tree. You can find me on Instagram, everywhere but Facebook. I'm live on TikTok and Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and that's both at Cresta Star. Again, you see it up here, not the Star, like Megan the Star. And that's only on X because your boy Elon Muskrat got me. Riccicino, where can they find you?
One Stop Shop on Twitter, Rick Ucino, spelled as you see it on the screen. Did an interview with John Moxley this week because AEW was in Cincinnati and they gave me the Cincinnati guy. Shocker, because I am also in the city of Cincinnati. So talked to him for what was supposed to be an 8-minute radio hit. This is a funny story. Iridian, you know how these go. Out, something, promote the show, done with life, right? My first question, it was a 9-minute answer from him. I ended up going 43 minutes.
Wow.
With this man.
Yes, that's awesome.
I had to cut it down to 24, but regardless, editing needed to be done on some certain things, but it was a great interview. He had just going back and listening to it, there were so many great nuggets that I just missed in the moment because I'm sitting here going, should I ask him another question? You know that that interview thing where you're like, okay, crap, should I keep going? Nobody's telling me to shut up. And I've only asked 2 questions, so I'm going to keep going. There are a lot of really great little nuggets that he dropped in there. You can find the link to the interview on the top of my page. On Monday, I'm going to have an interview dropping with Chelsea Green. So you can check that out ahead of Monday Night Raw. She's an absolute sweetheart. I had so much technical difficulties and she sat right through them. And I'm like, you're a champ. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. So yeah, all of that one-stop shop. You can find it on my Twitter, but do me a favor. Subscribe to the Believe in Pro Wrestling Podcast YouTube channel. That would be awesome. BLEAV. It's with myself and SP3. We're live every Tuesday at 2 o'clock or close as we can to it to do a live debate show. And if you know SP3, those can get spicy from time to time. And that's where you're going to find all of my interviews with your favorite WWE and AEW superstars. So you can follow me on Twitter if you'd like, but subscribe to the Believe in Pro Wrestling Podcast YouTube channel. That would be fantastic. And thank you. And subscribe to Fightful. Subscribe to Fightful Select. Give this video a thumbs up. Give this video a like. And just make sure to turn the notifications on so you know when our beautiful faces are going to be back next week, 10:10-ish. Recapping the Texas death match between Bryan Danielson and Starks. And whoever RVD is going to fight. And so much more. And who knows what big news. Maybe Sean Rossap will show up and drop some news for y'all. He hasn't done that in a while. We'll see if he does. Have a great rest of your weekend, everybody.